To give up, you have to be dead, or completely incapacitated.
Good morning, darling. So how was your sleep, love?
MHM. Alright, boyo, what you been up to? Knowledge?
Boom, 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 boom.
So what is better than Lamborghini?
Agenda. Bank IT infrastructure.
CCNA. DevOps.
Acronyms.
Python.
ASP.NET Core, maybe. Git, maybe.
Cosmos, maybe. Trader, economy, maybe. So, what can I get you, hun? Knowledge? Okay.
Fine. Bank IT. Bank IT infrastructure comprises of 3 groups.
Users, enterprise and cloud, or in other words public network, enterprise network and provider cloud.
Love, public and cloud is interconnected using edge services. Enterprise and cloud is interconnected using transformation and connectivity.
Anyway, darling, what is transformation in technology?
Digital transformation.
Digital transformation is the process of using digital technologies to create new, or modify existing, business processes, culture, and customer experience to meet changing business and market requirements. So what is transformation in banking? Digital transformation in banking must entail a top-down approach, integrating digital systems, customer experience platforms, apps, and infrastructure. Examples of digital transformation in banking could be blockchain technology, utilizing artificial intelligence, customer data collection, management and analysis. So let's talk about enterprise group, aka enterprise network.
There should be enterprise user directory. Active Directory? Most likely.
Enterprise consists of analytical insights and core systems and systems or records. So enterprise network should analyze customer data and transactional data. Now talking about core systems, it could be grouped into insurers' utility workloads.
This group could contain supporting applications and core applications.
So enterprise is basically data and applications.
Core applications could be
mortgage, loan, core banking, corporate banking, general ledger, payments.
Support applications could be
customer relationships, marketing, finance, accounting.
I guess that is enough for a silly man like my son.
Darling, love, sweetheart, darling, love.
Let's talk about ccna. By the way,
remember binary? Yeah? So binary is base 2 just like decimal is base 10.
So base 10 meaning? Let me try talk show you with my words.
10 to power of 0 is 1, right?
10 to power of 1 is 10, right?
10 to power of 2 is 100, right? 10 to power of 3 is 1000, right? So, do you get me, son? Power of 1, 2, 3 and so on and on, but the base is the same, 10.
Boom.
Now binary is base 2.
So, 2 to power of 0 is 1. 2 to power of 1 is 2. 2 to power of 2 is 4. 2 to power of 3 is 8. Do you get me, son? But the base is always 2. So base 2. Now remember where I stated that converting binary to decimal and overall you are double the numbers? Right. So actually you just using base 2 and increasing the power. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on, right? Do you get me, son? So, remember 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, right? So these are the number with the base 2 and power of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 2 to power of 7 is 128. Do you get me, son? I think so. But let's talk about ccna. Darling, love. I was talking about classful addresses which does not exist and is kind of history, but they pretend like it is big deal. Anyway. And now I will be talking about loopback address. Address 127/8 is reserved for loopback address. 127/8 meaning 127.0.0 and 0 to 255. Yo, did you catch that was a slash notation? But light about this, I guess. So you clouds say loopback address is a class address, meaning only first octet is reserved.
And talking about loopback address, only one number is reserved for it, and that number is 127. The loopback address is used to refer to the local system, also known as the local host. If you want to verify that the TCP/IP software has initialized on the local system even though you may not have an IP address, you can ping the loopback address, which is typically referred to as 127.0.0.1.
So.
You can test your own local system from a command line by typing ping 127.0.0.1, ping localhost, or ping loopback to verify that the TCP/IP protocol stack is functioning on your system. Boom for CCNA.
Now darling, love.
DevOps. REST API. Also known as RESTful API. So REST API is an application programming interface, API or web API, that conforms to the constraints of REST architecture style and allow for interaction with RESTful web services. REST stands for Representational State Transfer and was created by computer scientist Toy Fielding. But what is API, you ask? Darling, love, did we talked about this? An API is a set of definitions and protocols for building and integrating application software.
It is sometimes referred to as a contract between an information provider and an information user, establishing the content required from the consumer, the call, and content required by the producer, the response.
For example, the API designed for a weather service could specify that the user supply a zip code and that the producer reply with a two-part answer, the first being the high temperature, and the second being low temperature.
Darling, love.
In other words, if you want to interact with a computer or system to retrieve information or perform a function, an API helps you communicate what you want to that system so it can understand and fulfill the request. You can think of an API as a mediator between the users or clients and the resource or web services they want to get. It is also a way for an organization to share resources and information while maintaining security, control and authentication, determining who gets access to what. Another advantage of an API is that you do not have to know the specifics of caching, how your resource is retrieved or where it comes from. Day what? Darling, love, acronyms.
Day what? Day 7. DMZ, Demilitarized Zone.
DNAT, Destination Network Address Translation. DNS, Domain Name Service or Domain Name Server or Domain Name System. DOCSIS, Data over Cable Service Interface Specification. DOS, Denial of Service.
DPI, Deep Packet Inspection.
DR, Designated Router. DSCP, Differentiated Services Code Point.
DSL, Digital Subscriber Line. DSSS, Direct Sequence Spread Spectrum.
Now, darling, sweetheart. Money markets. Certificates of deposit, CDs. Most certificates of deposit, CDs, are not strictly money market funds because they are sold with terms of up to 10 years. However, CDs with terms as short as 3 months to 6 months are available. As with money market accounts, bigger deposits and longer terms yield better interest rates. Rates in 2021 for 12-month CDs ranged from about 0.5 to 0.7%, depending on the C of the deposit.
Unlike a only market account, the rates offered with a CD remain constant for the deposit period.
There is usually a penalty associated with an early withdrawal of funds deposited in a CD.
A little